Hi there, welcome to Island Fly Tarot. I'm going to do a tarot card reading for Libra energy, and we're going to read it from a couple different perspectives because everybody's got free will. Some people in their Libra energy operate with character and integrity. They're authentic, they're warm, they're loving, they have hope and faith and belief in their dreams. And some people aren't aligned with that nature within themselves. They might be fearful or insecure or prideful or egotistical or more focused on the world. Love isn't the driving factor in their life. It's not what drives and motivates them. Oh, and we're done. So let's go see. We have the High Priestess, the Ten of Pentacles, the Two of Pentacles, the Three of Swords, the Three of Pentacles, and the Seven of Swords. And the reason is about the Seven of Cups. And the Seven of Cups is about, are people willing to invest in deep emotional relationships and deep kind of high vibe Scorpio is about willing to explore the mysteries of life, the highs, the lows. Bring it on, God. I want to experience life. And other people could just really find their emotions confusing and life confusing. I mean, we are emotionally complex human beings and it can be confusing. Some people would rather not do that, and they'd rather harness their Scorpio energy in a more shadowy way where they keep their emotions hidden beneath the surface and maybe ignore listening to their intuition. They're just maybe really confused emotionally, or they have a more worldly view of life and they could be more emotionally superficial and shallow. And they try to confuse people about the truth of who they are, like to make people think they're willing to have deep emotional connections with people, but that's just an illusion. They try to confuse people about the truth. And it's really that they might look at life from a more worldly perspective, that life is about looking like you've attained the dream, but maybe living more from their mind than their heart, and operating more from their ego and their more emotionally defensive nature than moving forward in truth and love. So, well, let's just pick these up and show you what we got. There are some people right now who there are some people right now who are living more from their mind than their heart. They know they could move, well, they would move forward, I think, if they could. Well, some people don't want to see the truth. That's what the Two of Swords, which is Libra energy, in this Seven of Swords energy is. Some people don't want to see the truth, that life is about listening to your emotions and your intuition and being in deep, meaningful relationships. And part of the reason why they don't want to see the truth is because they could have always had this dream of living in this illusion that it isn't about love and like growing to your full potential. It's more about aligning with your worldly nature and looking like a shining star in the world. However, they think they would look like a shining star in the world if it's, I want to indulge. I don't want to see the truth. I don't think I should have to be just and fair. I don't think I should have to treat people the way I like to be treated. I think I can be self-centered or selfish or greedy or manipulative or prideful or bossy or controlling or abusive, Or I think life is about money and materialism and status and image, and I'm caught up in the illusion of the world, and I haven't seen through the illusion of the world, because I think the things of the world, if I have those things of the world, I'll be happy. So let's talk about those people. Some people might use their intuition in a shadowy way. If they have things of the world, because the Aquarius energy can be about looking successful by worldly standards, maybe some of these people do have money or status or image or power, or they're charming, or they're good looking, or at least they think they are, whatever. And they could be intuitive that people would maybe want to be in relationship with them either because of those things or because of their own want for stability and security in their life. And if they think that there are people who are juggling in the Two of Pentacles who can't really decide within themselves, do I make my life more about my worldly nature, or do I listen to my intuition and believe in myself, and am I going to take action in truth and love? Or am I afraid of being hurt, so I don't really want to do love, that maybe I'd be willing to settle for being in a relationship more because of money and materialism or indulgence or something? And some people who are shadowy, who don't maybe want to see the truth, that they're not quite who they say they are, and instead of being like truthful and honest and just and fair in relationships, they might be people who kind of like to use their emotions manipulatively to get what they want in relationships. And if what they want is for people to either indulge them in their ego, or people to view them a certain way, or be in a relationship with them because of money or status or whatever, they might try to go get in a relationship with someone who they think is heartbroken and who is juggling if they love and believe in themselves or not, especially if that person has money. Then they really might want to go get in a relationship with them. So, but the thing is, when people are in shadowy Seven of Swords energy, they're not seeing the truth, and they maybe don't want to see the truth. And they also might be deluding themselves about the people they're getting in a relationship with because they also don't want to see the truth about them. If they're more driven about being indulged, or they're more driven and motivated by money and materialism, they might not see the truth that some of the people they're getting in a relationship, some of those people are shadowy. Some of those people want to be in a relationship with them because of money and materialism and status and image, or because they want to be indulged. There's some people in the world who know this person is tempted by the things of the world, and some people are juggling this person because they also are in shadowy energy, and they might want this person to be in a relationship with them, but they want to be the one who's indulged in the relationship. And then we go from the Three of Swords to the Seven of Swords. In order for people to free themselves from being manipulated by others, because I think when we're in our shadow energy, we have our fears, our insecurities, our more immature, indulgent, or lustful, or greedy, or prideful, or self-centered ways of being. Sometimes people are in denial and they think they're so smart because they live more from their mind than their heart. They're not listening to their intuition. Their judgment is being clouded by their fear or their immaturity or their lust or their greed. And what they don't realize, I think, is, we live in the divine's manifestation of this world, and that what we align with in our mind, do we align with our loving, hopeful, believing nature, or do we reject that because we get hurt doing that and we don't want to do love, or we don't want to be just and fair, that we think, I don't have to listen to my intuition. I don't have to be just and fair. I don't have to treat people the way I like to be treated. I think I can cheat the system. I think I can have what I want. Our shadow nature is also represented by the devil, being tempted by the devil. I think I can get everything I want without having to see the truth that I should be just and fair and act with character and integrity and be open and honest and loving. I think I can get what I want anyway. Well, I think the way the world is set up is we're going to learn some difficult lessons about we can live our life whatever we want. We can't reap the wonderful, loving, supportive, encouraging relationships if we're not a loving, encouraging, supportive person. If we're going to be selfish and greedy and prideful and emotionally defensive, odds are, if we get in a relationship and can create an illusion and confuse people about the truth of who we are, if we get in a relationship with someone who truly is someone who puts in work and effort to maintain balance within themselves, they harness high vibe Virgo and Capricorn energy regardless of what zodiac sun sign they are. They harness that type of energy, and they are people who harness high vibe Seven of Swords. They try to look at life from a higher perspective. They have a dream, and they want their dreams to come into reality, being in deep, meaningful relationships. If someone thinks, I know, I can confuse them about the truth of who I am. Well, you might get someone to get in a relationship with you for a while, but eventually the loving people are going to be heartbroken because they're trying to work together with someone who's not being truthful and honest and might be egotistical and self-centered and deceptive and manipulative, who's kind of indulging in a relationship with them, and they're not treating them the way the loving people are treating them, and they're not putting in work and effort. The shadowy people aren't putting in work and effort to free themselves from their more shadowy ways of being. And eventually, the high vibe people wonder if they even want to invest in this person anymore because it's not just and fair. And eventually, the high vibe people start to invest in thinking about, is this my dream? Is my dream going to come into reality with this person? This person seems to be someone who harnesses these energies in a shadowy way. They could have been hiding that they're more aligned with their worldly nature, which can be all about money and materialism, or indulgence and ego. And they kind of juggle me and they don't really invest in me. You know, they kind of go back and forth. They like to present themselves as being a high vibe Libra. Oh no, I'm fair, I act with character and integrity, I'm not selfish, I'm not greedy, I'm not materialistic, but they are. Or I'm emotionally defensive, but I'm not. Like, I've healed from the past, but they haven't, and they still keep making decisions based on that past pain and heartbreak, or in their emotionally defensive nature, or their self-centered nature, or their immature nature, whatever their shadow nature is. And the high vibe people are heartbroken because they really wanted to work cooperatively with someone who said, you know, that they were willing to work together with them from a deep emotional foundation to bring a dream into reality. And eventually, you know, the high vibe people listen to their intuition and they realize this person isn't who they say they are. And eventually, the high vibe people don't want to move forward with them anymore because they see this person just created an illusion about who they are. They're not who they said they were. So that could be going on with some people in a relationship. And then if the shadowy people get in a relationship with high vibe people who want them to get more balance within themselves, you know, Libra energy of the Three of Swords is represented by the scales of justice. I accept the fact and see the truth that I have a dualistic nature. I have my more worldly nature, which is kind of like our more immature, indulgent, selfish, greedy, lazy, I want to be indulged nature. Well, who really wants to be in a relationship with someone like that? You know, and we're supposed to mature our worldly nature by connecting in with our more loving nature to balance out our worldly nature with not being a beast, you know? To elevate ourselves, to be someone who sees life from a higher perspective. We do have free will. Are we willing to grow and mature ourselves to treat people the way we like to be treated, to be just and fair in relationships, to be open and honest and authentic? You know, or do we think we should be able to be in our shadowy nature? No, I want to be selfish and greedy and prideful and egotistical and lazy and immature and indulgent, and you're just supposed to indulge me. Well, that's like the devil telling God, I want you to indulge me. I want to be able to do whatever I want. Well, God kicked the devil out, right? It's like, you don't fit here. You have a lot of growing up to do. So, some high vibe people didn't want to move forward with this person. And they went back, they listened to their intuition and said, I need to put in work and effort to maybe gain insight and wisdom about what I wasn't seeing before. And I need to see the truth about this person. And I need to quit investing time, energy, and effort into them to get myself balanced, because every relationship has to be balanced. And if it's not a just and fair relationship where people are treating each other the way they want to be treated, one person could have been enabling someone in their poor behavior. Like, oh, look at me. I'll be loving and giving and kind and supportive. And, oh, what are you doing down there? It's like, I'm not being that. And it's like, oh, well, I'll keep loving you and whatever. And I'm sure one day you'll look at life from a higher perspective, and we'll be on this equal give and take, and we'll be in this loving relationship. And eventually people see the truth that the other person isn't putting in the work and effort to deal with their issues that make them choose not to be just and fair and loving in a relationship, and treat other people the way they like to be treated. And eventually the high vibe people realize the truth and can't be in denial of the truth. The Two of Swords here can be where we feel stuck because somebody presented themselves as being one thing and we bought into it. We bought into the illusion. And then by how things actually are in the world, and we see what people are putting work and effort into, and what motivates and inspires them, and what doesn't motivate and inspire them, and we realize and see the truth, and it's heartbreaking. So then the high vibe people have to put work and effort into working through their mental conflict about it, because they then got emotionally attached to people. They thought a dream was going to come into reality, but it's not. And it can't if those people keep free willingly choose to be in shadow energy. And they have to work through all of that and listen to their intuition to guide them, and look at life from a higher perspective. And, that loving energy, like the divine energy, doesn't expect us to keep staying and indulging the devil. If people are selfish and greedy and immature, blah, 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 and we've been loving and encouraging and trying to help them get out of their fear, their insecurity, or their emotional defensiveness, to grow up and mature themselves and get more stable and grounded within themselves, to have some hope and faith and belief, eventually they have to take over that role within themselves and actually, do some work within themselves. High vibe Virgo energy is about self-reflecting on the things you maybe hadn't wanted to look at about yourself, about others, about your past. Why aren't you being just and fair? Why aren't you willing to be vulnerable and loving in a relationship? Why are you defensive? Are you willing to let go of the Eight of Pentacles, which is maybe indulging in things of the world or focusing more on money and materialism? Are you willing to quit making that your focus to get more balance between your emotional, spiritual nature and your hopeful, believing nature with your worldly nature of your fears and insecurities, to be more balanced and just in relationships and have some hope and faith and belief? And if they're not, the high vibe people had to move on. And the high vibe people right now are listening to their intuition about anything that they're going to invest their time, energy, and effort into again, because they don't want to get caught up in another illusion. And the way not to get caught up in another illusion, somebody manipulating you and pushing your buttons, is to do this work within yourself, to get balance within yourself, to heal from that past relationship, to give yourself all the things that you wish somebody else would have given you, so you're no longer even attracted to being in relationship with people who act like that, because I think if we don't heal from it and do this work, we'll be subconsciously like drawn and attracted to getting in a relationship with those same type of people, because in our ego we want to win. We want them to pick us this time. I'm gonna win. And that's us being in our ego, and we need to let that go. I don't need someone who's already shown me that they're like that Well, there is no winning with someone who's like that, because it's all about themselves. It's not about working together with people cooperatively. And I need to give myself love and compassion and forgiveness to heal from that so I can move forward and keep listening to my intuition about the people I want to be in a relationship with. And if any of the high vibe people move forward in their life, because some people are in that relationship I just discussed right now, other people have already went through it. So, you got to fit yourself in this kind of time frame of the story where you fit. Other people could have gotten into new relationships, some of them, and because we can repeat some patterns and we have a lot of lessons to learn in life. Initially when we're young, we could all be kind of immature and reckless, and we probably are dating some immature and reckless people. And then we think, I don't want to go out with someone like that again, even though we might date a few people like that. And then we think, no, I want to go out with someone. Well, there's new lessons to learn, and the big lesson is to get to the place where we don't keep staying confused about why those relationships didn't work out. And instead of loving and believing in ourselves and listening to our intuition, we can tend to go back and get in different relationships because we have more lessons to learn. And until people have gone through like maybe enough relationships that they're like, yeah, no, I'm done. If anybody shows up at my door that seems to be going back and forth, seems to live more from their mind than their heart, haven't dealt with their past pain and heartbreak, is selfish, greedy, self-centered, no. And it takes doing the work within yourself to free yourself from your own shadow nature. Because I think if you haven't learned those lessons, those type of people will keep appearing in your life because you haven't learned that lesson. And when we get sick and tired of learning lessons the hard way, we kind of tell God, okay, I am no longer going to ignore my intuition, because during those time periods of those relationships, our intuition could have been telling us, you need to get out of this relationship. You need to quit moving forward with this person. This person is doing hurtful things. They're unkind. They're deceptive. They're manipulative. But we in our ego, our worldly nature, like, oh, no, God, I got this. I'm going to love them. It's all going to work out great. And it doesn't. And eventually in our life, we say, okay, I'm going to listen to my intuition, and I'm going to do this work within myself to love and believe in myself. And I'm going to heal from my past pain and heartbreak. And I'm going to give myself all the things I wish other people would have given me. And I'm going to treat myself with love and compassion and encouragement. I'm going to be like my own best mother, father, coach voice in my own head. And I'm going to listen to my intuition from now on. And I'm no longer going to go back and forth. This is it. I'm listening to my intuition. I'm not going to indulge in my fear, my insecurity, and my impulsive, reckless nature anymore. I am going to maintain balance between my heart and my mind and align, because this Three of Pentacles is Capricorn energy. Shadowy Capricorn is the devil. I'm going to keep working with my high vibe Aquarius energy. I'm going to keep having hope and faith and belief in my dreams. I'm going to keep looking at life from a higher perspective. I'm going to keep listening to my intuition to guide me. And if anybody left those type of relationships and you've gotten into a new relationship, both people are listening to their intuition, maintaining balance, taking action in truth and love, working together cooperatively to bring this dream into reality. And you're not getting caught tipping into your shadowy Seven of Cups, like getting too much in your emotions, getting too much in your fears, getting too much into fantasy land of like your ego, like, oh my gosh, I could create this kind of relationship with anybody. Maybe I should go get in a relationship with someone else. Why would we even be tempted to do that? If we're in stable, grounded, balanced, just, fair, nurturing, supportive, encouraging relationships, and everybody is putting in that work and effort, everybody is listening to their intuition to keep maintaining this relationship. And if other people are presenting themselves as an option, because we're all tempted every day in the world, even though most of us are not even paying attention to it, you know, but we all know that if we kind of drove our life off into the ditch, there's lots of people who'd probably be willing to engage in some type of relationship with us for some amount of time. You know, the temptation will always be there because duality exists in the world. And if we're in loving relationships, we put in work and effort. And if some of you aren't in that new relationship right now, that there might be, as you're moving forward in your life, there might be different people coming towards you. And it could be kind of like a test to see, are you ready for the next phase of life? Are you ready for what the divine has in store for you? We're going to bring both types of people in your life. We're going to bring people in your life who want to work together with you. Some of them are being truthful and honest and authentic and warm and loving and bold and brave and confident, and they've learned lessons in life, and they're listening to their intuition. They're not coming towards you out of fear or insecurity or emotional confusion or because a different relationship, not just because a different relationship didn't work out. They're someone who also believes in their dreams, and they think you're someone they could bring this dream into reality with. And there's going to be other people coming towards you who are in shadowy Aquarius energy, and you're going to have to listen to your intuition. Have you learned your lessons yet? Or do you need to go another round? No shame. Life's all about learning lessons. But some people are going to come towards you because other people in their life weren't willing to indulge them. Other people wanted them to put in work and effort to be more just and fair in a relationship, and they didn't want to put in the work and effort to be more just and fair. They might be people who have a lot of mental conflict about the truth that relationships are supposed to be about love and being just and fair. They have their own idea of what's just and fair, and they could be kind of full of themselves. They could be kind of egotistical. Think that if they get in a relationship with people, everybody else is supposed to put aside their pride and ego, but never them. They could be people who are just emotionally confused and they're looking to get in a relationship because they're not putting in this work and effort. Other people could have gotten in relationships just like you, and they realized the relationship they got into was an illusion, and that person wasn't who they thought they were. And previously, someone could have broken your heart. I'm not talking about the shadowy people in your life. If you had someone in your life that you know is materialistic, doesn't really invest in people, lives more from their mind than their heart, is hurtful and unkind and selfish and greedy and self-centered, they're probably going to stay that way. I'm talking about someone in your life that you either just meet as you're moving forward, or someone who you did know previously. You could have been in a relationship with them before and it didn't work out, but when you were in a relationship with them, you found them to be a just and fair and balanced and nurturing person and all that. But for some reason, you know, maybe you both weren't ready to come together in a relationship at that time because you both had lessons to learn. Some of those people might come back and want to be in a relationship because they've learned lessons in life that, you know, whatever those were. And now looking back, it's like, oh my gosh, my dream and the person I think I could really work with was someone I knew before that, you know, it didn't work out because I had lessons to learn. It didn't work out because they had lessons to learn, and we both had some lessons to learn. But now, I think because we both put in work and effort to get more balance within ourselves, and we've both been heartbroken, and we've both gotten clear about what our truth is, and we've both kind of freed ourselves from some other people in life that we maybe had to learn some lessons from, we're ready to get back in a relationship. If it's someone that either you could have communicated with who's coming back, or someone who's coming towards you as you're just maintaining your balance in life. And it also could just be someone new. But the whole thing is just listen to your intuition. Now, what are the shadowy people doing? They could see that you've done this work within yourself and that they can't deceive and manipulate you anymore. They might have not moved forward with you in a relationship before, because it was too emotionally confusing and they didn't want to see the truth, and they could have been self-centered and all that stuff. They could have been materialistic. They could have went to go get in relationship with people who are more aligned with their worldly nature, that they thought, because they were maybe more aligned with their worldly nature in Virgo and Capricorn energy, and they could have thought, I want to be in a relationship with other people who might live more from their mind and their heart, who might be more aligned with their worldly nature, and maybe want to get in relationships and either be more indulged in the things of the world, who aren't that concerned about love, or people who will indulge me because they haven't learned to love and believe in themselves, or people who make their life more about money and materialism, and that's what they do, and that's what drives and motivates them. For some of those people, they could have went and gotten those relationships, and then you get in a relationship with someone, and either that one doesn't work out because maybe they had illusions about someone, thinking they'd indulge them, thinking they were more ego focused, and really they were more love focused, just like you. And it was like, oh, well, I already left people who were loving. If I was going to be in a relationship because of love and this relationship didn't work out again, maybe I'll go back to the people that I did maybe even have a family with. Um, and some of those people might want to come back, but they're the same person they were before. They're still juggling, still living more from their mind than their heart, still self-centered and egotistical and worldly driven and not love driven. For others of them, they might have went back to get in a relationship with someone who really was kind of more like them. But when you get in a relationship with someone and neither person is getting in the relationship because of love, and they're both maybe getting in the relationship because I have fear and insecurity about being more open and honest and authentic in relationships, and other people want me to grow up and mature myself, and I'd rather be in a relationship with someone who's kind of fearful and insecure just like me, someone else who wants to be in a relationship maybe more for indulgence or money and materialism. Well, the only thing is, people aren't in the relationship because of love. And if someone else comes along, they could have been working together and it all seemed great. Like, oh my gosh, the dream's going to come into reality. But then, because they kind of aren't motivated and driven by love, and that's maybe why they didn't get in the relationship anyway. Well, if someone else comes along who has more money, more status, more willing to indulge them, more willing to enable them in their self-centeredness or egoic nature, well, then they're going to go get in a relationship with someone else. There's no loyalty or commitment there. And that person might have just gotten karma. It's like, oh, wait. I thought I could just go get in a relationship with someone who views life like me, and it would all be great and dandy. It's like, but who are you? You don't seem to want to see the truth of who you are. If you're selfish and greedy and emotionally self-centered and like to be the center of attention, and you don't like to put aside your pride and ego to work cooperatively with people, well, if you go get in a relationship with someone who's just like you, now we have two people who don't want to be vulnerable, think they can just emotionally manipulate people to get what they want, are both kind of prideful and egotistical and defensive. Well, what kind of relationship is that going to be? They're both trying to emotionally manipulate each other. They're both trying to get the other person to indulge them and let them be the more privileged person in the relationship. And some of those people realize they didn't like that relationship, but they really haven't gained any insight from it. It's just that they know they didn't like being in a relationship with you before because you wanted them to grow and mature themselves. They didn't like that. But then they went and got in a relationship with someone who was like themselves, and they definitely didn't like that. So now you're the better option. And so now they want to come back, and you're like, and they're hoping that you're still confused about the truth. That you are still going back and forth about them, that you're still heartbroken about them, and still have these illusions about who they are, that they can just come back and work together with you. And I think, You're going to listen to your intuition if this person tries to come back towards you. And if your intuition is telling you they're the exact same person they were when they left, they haven't done any work within themselves to gain insight and understanding about how they juggle people and how they live more from their mind than their heart, and how they're kind of egotistical and self-centered and materialistic and indulgent. They're still caught up in this illusion, maybe, of how wonderful they are, and thinking people should want to be in a relationship with them for some reason, you know? And you're like, I'm not in illusion about you anymore, but you still are in illusion about who you are. And I'm not going to move forward with you. I'm going to retreat from you and anybody else I come upon in the world who's like that. Because I have a dream and I want to work together with other people who harness high vibe Libra, high vibe Pisces, Cancer, Virgo, Capricorn, Libra, Capricorn, Aquarius, and Scorpio, not people who harness those energies in a shadowy way. And I'm going to listen to my intuition. I don't care if they pop up in my life and they're a Virgo, or they're a Capricorn, or they're a Libra, or they're Aquarius, or they're a Scorpio. I don't care what zodiac sign you were born under. How do you harness these energies in your life? Because we either take control of them from a place of love and balance, or our emotions run our life off into the ditch, or our mind and our fears and our self-centeredness run our life into the ditch, or our more materialistic, indulgent nature runs our life off into the ditch. You know, I want people who've put in work and effort to be balanced within themselves, who have looked at life from a higher perspective, who now aren't getting caught up in their emotions and their fears and their lust and their greed, who've learned that if they don't want to drive their life off into the ditch, they better start listening to their intuition to guide their decisions if they really want their dreams to come into reality. And if you're not there yet, I have no illusions about who you are. You're an emotionally confused person, you know, because the energy of love is what unifies us and helps us make good decisions in our life. Otherwise, we're kind of like scattered energy, and it's like, you know, what is it today? It's like, oh, today I'm lustful. Okay, let's go do that. Oh, today I'm feeling greedy. Okay, let's go do that. Today I'm feeling defensive. Okay, let's go do that. You know, today I'm less, you know, it's just going all over the place, you know? And they haven't figured out that some people think they have all these options in the world and they can't figure out what they want. Well, until you figure out what you want, I don't want to be in a relationship with you. You know, if you're still emotionally confused and you haven't gotten to the truth of who you are and what you believe in and what's important to you, yeah, I don't want to be in a relationship with you. And if you have decided you are caught up in the illusion of yourself, your ego, your fear, your insecurity, your immaturity, your selfish, greedy nature, yeah, I don't want anything to do with you either. High vibe Libras are listening to their intuition. They encourage people to love and believe in themselves and be all they can be. Shadowy people use their intuition in a shadowy way. Do you have money? Perfect. Are you kind of juggling? Are you heartbroken? Wonderful. Let's get in a relationship. Let's get married. This is great. Have you not learned to love and believe in yourself? Perfect. You're my kind of person. Let's get in a relationship. I can deceive and manipulate you. I can play on your fear and your insecurity. That's why, if we don't put in the work and effort to heal from our past pain and heartbreak, we still have open wounds in a way. And other people, shadowy energy will come into our life. It's kind of like the devil coming into our life to teach us a lesson. You need to do this work. You need to get out of fantasy land of being codependent and looking to get in a relationship or indulge in things of the world to feel better. The answer lies within you loving and healing yourself. And if you don't think the answer lies within you, there's more than plenty of people willing to come into your life and play on your fear and your insecurity and your more immature, indulgent nature that just wants to feel better. And they'll deceive and manipulate you, and you'll be left very confused. And if you're tired of that happening to you, then you need to start listening to your intuition, and you need to put in some work to get balanced within yourself and free yourself from past pain and heartbreak and humble yourself to admit that you had some lessons to learn and have some hope and faith and belief in your dreams and listen to your intuition to guide you. And listen to, because we all have lessons to learn, because if you're a loving, nurturing, supportive person and, you're just like a regular human being who had to go through some life lessons of getting out of your more immature and reckless ways of being, or your kind of insecure ways of being, it's to see the truth that there are people out there in the world that you didn't even realize were out there. There are people out there who are very defensive. Their ego runs their life. I will not get hurt emotionally. I will keep my more vulnerable, authentic nature hidden from the world. I do not invest in people. Then I would have skin in the game. I will have sex and intimacy with people, but I will not emotionally invest my authentic self in those people. I will work together with people, but I'm living more from my mind than my heart. I deceive myself and I don't really live my life authentically. My ego, my fear, my insecurity, my immature nature is running my life. And I'm hoping you won't see through the illusion of who I present myself to be, and you'll get in a relationship with me. And if you listen to your intuition and you really do believe in having deep, meaningful, loving relationships, eventually you're going to be heartbroken because you're going to see through the illusion of who I am. And when you see through the illusion of who I am, I'm not going to move forward with you, and I'm probably going to create confusion and all this stuff. About why the relationship didn't work out, and might do all these hurtful, unkind things to get you to even leave the relationship. Because if I'm a narcissist, I want everybody to believe this illusion of who I am. And I don't want them to know that I'm fearful and afraid of love and that I let my ego run my life. And I might really, when you're letting your ego run your life and you're kind of manipulating people, that's very selfish. To create an illusion with people and having them get in relationship with you when you don't plan to authentically invest in them and be vulnerable and authentic in it, that's very selfish and greedy. And there's some narcissistic people out there that don't want people to know that they kind of more indulge in relationships, and it is kind of more about them being the center of attention and being indulged in a relationship. And of course, they want everybody to view them as just and fair, so they don't want people to know that they like to be indulged in their ego in a relationship. And so then they do all this stuff to get you to leave, and then they're deceptive about why the relationship ended, try to emotionally confuse people about the truth so that they can go get and do the same old thing with someone else. And that's probably what the shadowy people that you know in your life are going to do. They are not, if they get in relationships with people, if they start to think that their person they're in a relationship with is starting to get more balance within themselves, heal from some of their past pain and heartbreak, that's when this person is going to start to do things to cause you confusion. They want you to get the focus back on putting work and effort into maintaining balance in the relationship with them. They don't want you healing from your fears, your insecurities, your self-limiting beliefs, your past pain and heartbreak, because if you do, you'll be like moving to the next level of life, and there'll be ways of being that you aren't anymore, and then they can't push your buttons and play on those things anymore to manipulate you and control you, because that's what shadowy people do in a relationship. They're trying to manipulate and control the people they're in a relationship with. And if you heal, then they can't push those buttons, and you're going to be balanced within yourself, and then you're going to want them to be more balanced within themselves, because you're not going to enable them in their poor behavior anymore. And if you're not going to enable them in their poor behavior anymore, and that's their idea of a great relationship, that's when they're going to do all this shit to get out of the relationship, to go find someone else that might be juggling, who might be heartbroken, who'd like to be in a relationship, and they're going to get in their life like, I'm a shining star, you should be in a relationship with me, we could bring a dream into reality. And they start the whole pattern all over again. So I think for some of the shadowy people, they're either manipulating someone new, trying to confuse people about the truth, still don't want to see the truth themselves about who they are and how they operate in the world, hoping other people don't see the truth of how they are in relationships and how they operate. And others of them have already gotten themselves in a new relationship, and now they're having to get out of it because that other person is wanting them to bring the dream into reality, and it's like, oh, nope, I guess I gotta go find someone else to juggle, and I'll create confusion and illusion around this one again. So there you go, Libra energy. I wish you peace, love, and joy, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.